So Eric, this is a very cool platform that BMW has come out with, this R9T, and then you choose. There's the Pure, there's the Urban, there's the Scrambler, and there's the Racer. And they're all based on the previous generation Boxer, the air oil-cooled Boxer. But I've been able to play with a few of these now over the last couple of weeks, and they're fun.
They are. I was really drawn to the styling because it's so retro looking and it really takes you back to the 70s. I was kind of transported back to the 70s, if you like.
Yeah.
And it's a no compromise bike as well. The seating and position is such that you're just about laying on the tank. You're just a hair away from a full racing tuck the whole time you're on it.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
Yeah. So I don't even know where you start because, you know, the styling is so stunning, but we always start with the motor. So as I mentioned, this is the previous generation. It's the air oil cooled Boxer, 1200 cc's. What did you think?
I think the motor's brilliant. It's absolutely lovely. As I was saying to you earlier, I have a long history of Boxer engines, being a Subaru guy and maybe even a Beetle guy before that.
Right.
I appreciate the advantages of the Boxer engine because for a twin like this and large displacement, you'd have all kinds of vibration, but it's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
And then add to that there's a shaft drive, and it means that there's going to be little maintenance on the bike as well, which is kind of nice. I love that part of it.
Yeah.
The throttle's very crisp, and when you crack it open, it's got lots of horsepower, 110 horsepower.
Yeah.
Now, is it going to compete with the leader bikes that are the four-cylinder leader bikes? Probably not.
Right.
For me, that's plenty of horsepower. I don't need more than that.
I think what BMW is looking to do is a Cup Series again, which is what they did a few years ago. So you'd be racing against competitive, similarly set up R9T racers, which I think is a very cool concept.
Yeah.
It's certainly got enough brakes for the racetrack.
Well, I'm so happy to see that this is kind of the standard now in braking, isn't it? 320 millimeter discs on the front with a single on the back. You've got more braking than you could possibly use.
Yeah.
Plus, ABS, if you get into trouble, it's going to save you, and you can shut the ABS off as well.
Right. So we have reference that this is the racer version, so you are definitely in a racer's position. You're leaning forward. Probably that's the most extreme part of it.
A lot of weight on your wrists.
A lot of weight on your wrists. Your feet are underneath you, but they are slightly bent in a racer's crouch. I was a little concerned about my highway ride. I did a 2-hour drone on the freeway, and I was surprised. I was actually quite comfortable. I was able to sit up quite a bit.
It's all different on the highway. You get
yeah.
the air's working for you, right?
Yeah, so I was sort of supported. So actually it was quite nice on the highway, but overall, this is a bike that's, for me, it's good for an hour or so. You know, it's designed for ice cream runs and quick jaunts up to the cottage, I guess.
You're going to be working hard when you're on this bike because of the seating position and everything, but it is a blast to ride.
Yeah.
And if you're going fast, so much better.
What about the fit and the finish?
The fit and the finish is really what struck me when I got closer to the bike. Cap screws everywhere and the paint is immaculate, and it just looks the part of a 70s vintage racer, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like a time machine. It looks like a restored racer from the 70s, but the more you look at it, there are so many modern touches, right?
Oh no, it's high tech. Well, that's the beauty, I think, is that you get all this high technology in something that looks vintage.
Right. The other thing I noticed is that in terms of the switchgear, there's, you've got heated grips.
Oh, that's a nice feature.
But that's about it in terms of, you can turn the ABS on and off, and you can sort of flip through a couple of trip meters, but really it's pretty bare bones, right?
Not only is it bare bones, they forgot something, which is the gas gauge.
Right.
There's no gas gauge. So you get an idiot light for when you're running out of gas, and then you're on reserve, and it just tells you to pull over and put some gas in it.
Right.
So that's kind of how I felt about it. It's a bike of contradictions. At times it's like a full-out racer. Other times there's niceties like heated grips, and, and yet no fuel gauge. So.
Right. Who are we going to recommend this bike to? You said it sort of walks one foot in the vintage and another foot in the modern. Who's going to buy this bike?
Yeah, I would say if you're looking, probably better to list the people that shouldn't buy it. And if you're looking for a nice cruiser to go out and do hundreds of miles on the highway, this is not the bike for you.
Right.
But if you're looking for a nice sporty experience and with an absolutely killer vintage look like this and the high fit and finish of this bike, then this is the one for you.
Yeah. So I think you've nailed it. Definitely. It's not a beginner bike by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But maybe moving on into your second and third machine, or you're getting back into the sport, and you're not planning on traveling from Vancouver to Newfoundland.
As you said, an hour a day, this is your bike.
Oh, an hour a day, this is going to put a smile on your face every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming out and giving it a whirl. I'm glad you liked it.
No, thanks for having me.
It's a beauty, eh?
It's beautiful.
We're just going to stand here, drink our coffee, and just keep looking at it. Thanks, Eric.
Cheers.